Ron Desantis has announced that he is running. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Desantis has announced that he is running once more for governor of Florida. Ron DeSantis has filed, as of a few hours ago, his paperwork to run for re-election in the state of Florida. Ron DeSantis, I think, is going to cruise devastatingly to victory, and he announced it, by the way, with a GIF, a Thug Life GIF. Not joking. This was his official announcement. His official announcement GIF. That kind of reminded me very eerily of something that we had made of Ron DeSantis.
Why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from you.
You can find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Mama, I got what you need. You need to feel the buzz. I'm in the habit.
Why should people in Florida be really excited to have Ron DeSantis rerun as governor? Well, we have a number of reasons why, but most importantly, Ron DeSantis endorses the most powerful political movement in the country, the Brandon movement. The Let's Go Brandon movement. Ron DeSantis endorses this wholeheartedly and actually does so in front of all national corporate television. He gets attacked for this. Listen first.
If you look at that, if you look at what's going on with some of the big corporations with their woke agenda, when you look at the Brandon administration in terms of what they're doing. You know, I don't even know, like, do you know how that started? Like, it was, and like, you know, you have the media, they're hand-wringing over this, but, you know, it was at a NASCAR race, and they're doing an interview with a driver, I guess his name was Brandon, and the crowd starts chanting very colorful language about Joe Biden. And it was obvious that they were doing, and, you know, it is what it is. First of all, they said way worse about Trump for 4 years. We know that. But so they're chanting this, and so you have a reporter from NBC who knows that's what they're saying, and she's trying to cover for Biden. So she says, yeah, they're chanting, "Let's go, Brandon." And that was a lie. And it was a lie. And so this chant, I think, has taken on a life of its own because it exposes the dishonesty of these corporate reporters and what they do every day to try to lie. And so now you see it.
Correct.
But bottom line is we've got all...
So what happens when corporate media comes after Ron DeSantis for saying "Let's go Brandon"? They hate "Let's go Brandon." They know that "Let's go Brandon" is the most important meme in all of America. And Ron DeSantis sat down with corporate media, and what is the first thing that they ask? My jaw was on the floor when I saw this clip. What's the first thing that they ask Ron DeSantis when he sits down with corporate media? The first thing asked is, why did you say "Let's go Brandon"? Why did you say it? Listen to the way that Ron DeSantis laughs and cackles in the face of corporate media. Limp-wristed, linguini-spined, translucent skin, corporate media gremlin who's sitting in Ron DeSantis' office, and even though he could ask about inflation, he could ask about our open border, he could ask about the drug problems, he could ask about the people who are currently suffering horrendously under the Biden regime, he instead asks about Brandon. Now remember, ladies and gentlemen, attention is power. Having attention is power. And so the fact that the corporate media is actually fixated on the "Let's Go Brandon" movement, that's power. That's power for us. Listen to how Ron DeSantis feels this question. Amazing.
Last week you called the Biden administration the Brandon administration. Do you feel that that is the proper level of exchange between a governor and a president?
Well, let me ask you how he's treated us. I mean, you know, they
shouldn't you rise above that?
Well, they
even
take
if he
a lot of
treats you
pot
badly?
shots. Well, look, I think it's a joke, but honestly, one of the reasons why that has taken on is because a lot of your folks in the national media they get very sensitive to it, because what happened was people were chanting something else very colorful.
It's a swear about the president.
Well, you had a reporter, though, say that it was "Let's Go Brandon," when that's not really what was said. And so I think the reason why it's caught on is because I think it needles the national media a little bit, because look, I mean, they've become very partisan. I mean, they were very much against Trump. They're very much ahead of Biden. So I think we view it as fun. But I do think
But it's a swear about the president.
Well, right. But I mean, here's what I would say. Was there hand-wringing about this, about the stuff that was said about Trump for 4 years? No, there wasn't.
You remember when Robert De Niro stood up at the Emmys at a national, something that's broadcast nationally on corporate television, and Robert De Niro stands up and goes, F Trump.
I'm going to say one thing, Trump.
Of course I can't say it on this live. Of course I can't use this language. It'll be demonetized. Robert De Niro stands up and goes, F Trump. And then here's this guy. This guy's going, yeah, but it's a swear. It's a swear. Why would you swear about Joe Biden? Come on. This is Ron DeSantis laughing about Let's Go Brandon, calling it the Brandon administration. And this guy is sitting there with his whitey tighties on, as tight as they can be, going, why would you swear? You guys want to see Ron DeSantis do a real interview? Tell Ron DeSantis to come on this show. Tell Ron DeSantis to come talk to your boy Benny. Because tell you what, you get a totally different interview. Ron DeSantis has every reason to be happy and excited about the way that things have gone inside of Florida. California's COVID rate is now twice what Florida's is. Wow, what do you know? California issued total lockdown. California destroyed lives, destroyed businesses, destroyed the ability for children to learn, took away everyone's rights, stripped everybody of their rights, which is the point. The point is to deny you rights, to take from you that which you thought was your God-given right, and to declare definitively the ruling class, atheistic class, wish to worship one thing, their own power. And they want to strip from you the rights that were given to you by God. Because if God gives you these rights, well then there must be a God. And that means there must be a power more powerful than us. So the goal of this is to strip your rights. And this in California, of course, a fallen state, an evil state, the Travis Scott Astro world of states, is exactly what they wanted to do. Utilize the emergency in order to rip the rights that you have from you. California did that, and now California has twice the COVID rate of Florida, which didn't. Freedom always wins, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Florida death rate, the lowest in the country. That's very interesting. The lowest in the lower 48. That's fascinating. I thought that it was Ron DeSantis. I thought that moving to Florida was a death sentence. Florida continues to see rise in job growth rate. Florida actually was the #1 job growth state in the union per capita. Last jobs report, #1 in the entire union. The most jobs of any place in the country. Supply chain issue continues. DeSantis says Florida ports are open for business. That's right. Florida ports are now redirecting the supply chain through Florida and saving Christmas. DeSantis announces $5,000 bonus for cops who move to Florida. If you're a cop and you are fired due to a vaccine mandate, unconstitutional, will probably make it to the Supreme Court, will be crushed, well then you can come to Florida and you can have a great life, and you'll also get, again, read the headline, you'll get paid. You'll get $5,000. That'll cover your moving costs to come to Florida. Amazing. We got more and more and more and more and more to show you guys, but I want to tell you real fast, the internal polling for Ron DeSantis is so good right now. We've been calling some of our friends who work in the office and seeing what this kind of looks like as far as the future here. They are going to go on offense. Ron DeSantis is going to start campaigning in blue parts of the state. They're going to go on offense here in Florida and come after Democrat areas of Florida. For the first time in Florida history, Republican registration has outpaced and outnumbered Democrat registration in the state. Why? Here's why.
We've gone from 15 days to slow the spread to 3 jabs to keep your job somehow. Are you kidding me?
This is a conversation about a federal overreach. This is a conversation about a mandate that disenfranchises people from their opportunity to pursue their goals and their American dream.
They said lockdowns would stop COVID. They lied. They said forced masking would end the pandemic in 2020. That was a lie.
It shouldn't be between a vaccine or a livelihood.
The framers, when they set up this delicate balance of power in our country, the separation of powers which has allowed this country to continue successfully, they didn't ever envision they would have a president that said, we'll do a crafty, unlawful workaround.
I'm living with this looming date that has been pushed back so many times now and is set at December 8th. I don't know what's going to happen beyond that point. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to stop providing for my mother and our family at the house.
They were saying this would never be appropriate to be mandating just months ago.
Biden's trying to push this into the private sector. He's trying to make businesses that are medium or large dictate to those employees, get vaccinated or lose your job.
Biden said it shouldn't be mandated, that it's something that individuals have to make choices.
The point of America is not to have a corporate ruling elite, to not have a permanent ruling class. That was the purpose of setting our country up this way. Ron DeSantis embodies that purpose, embodies that history, embodies that legacy in allowing people in Florida, and let me tell you, I live in Florida 100%. This is the way that people live down here. This is how people want to live their lives. Free from government, free from tyranny, free from the dictates of Washington, D.C. We're about 1,000 miles from Washington, D.C., and they want to live under the auspices of someone like this.
Because sometimes people will ask me, oh man, how come Florida, 84,000 jobs, the rest of the country, what could be done to help the rest of the country? And I say, well, the saying that I always think back, and it's a little bit of a flourish on how it's been used previously, but a recession is when your neighbor loses his job, a depression is when you lose yours, a recovery is when Dr. Fauci loses his.
God, I love this guy. It's sticking a thumb in the eye of our ruling class. This is the Ron DeSantis special. It's shoving a stick into the eye of the ruling class, mocking them, laughing at them, fighting against them, and fighting, quite frankly, for people's rights to live their own lives. That is precisely the purpose of America. The goal of America was to say, hey, you do you. Do you want to be Amish? Do you want to be Mormon? Do you want to be something that's not the Church of England? Do you want to live in the way that you wish to live and raise your children in the way that you wish to raise them before God? You go ahead and do that. Have your adventure. Take the risk. We won't centrally plan your life. The rest of the world, seemingly, is central planning. The rest of the world is on board with central planning. Cradle to grave, government controls your life, who you are, where you go, what you say, how you engage in commerce. And in many nations, what religion you can have. You want to hear the opposite of that? Pushing back against tyrannical, unconstitutional power and laughing in their faces. The elite and the ruling class uniparty must not be mocked. They can't be mocked. And that's why they see this guy as enemy number one. That's why they see Ron DeSantis as enemy number one. They do entire segments on it. Here is a small clip, 60 seconds from CNN, CNN's smoothest brain, lowest IQ anchor, a man who should probably, if he were given a different lot in life, would be, I don't know, serving up cocktails? I'm not sure. But this guy's name is Don Lemon.
And then there is Ron DeSantis. You can always count on him to try to turn a deadly disease into an applause line.
Politicians want to force you to cover your face as a way for them to cover their own asses. That's just the truth. They want to be able to say they're taking this on and they're doing this, even though it's not proven to be effective. They want to continue to do it.
God, that is just such bunk, or just to say this is bullshit.
He swore. Remember the SEALs. He He swore, yay! The SEALs. Don Lemon should be bartending with AOC. Okay, he swore, he made a swear. Okay, what else does Don Lemon have to say about Ron DeSantis? Maybe like a really thoughtful retort here? Let's check in.
Really? Just call it what it is. They want to protect kids, Governor. What do you want? The CDC and the AMA both agree that masks reduce the transmission of the virus, but DeSantis reacted to the Miami-Dade School Board's vote today in favor of a mask mandate with a statement pushing the same old misguided, bad faith view of freedom. This has nothing to do with freedom.
Did you see that? Did you see that? Benny, you're crazy. Your show's crazy. There's not a ruling class, uniparty elite trying to take and strip us of our constitutional God-given rights. And then you see moments like this where he goes, freedom, as though it's all made up, as though it's not real. Because to these people, it's not real. They believe that they already control our lives. They believe that they already control our children. They believe that they already control our God-given rights to breathe, to own weapons, to live our lives, to engage in commerce. They think that all of it is already under their control. The Virginia race, the New Jersey race, the New York race, Minneapolis, Seattle, Texas, Kansas City, what all of these places prove is that it actually isn't under their control. And they get scared. They get so terrified when they recognize those things. It's what 2016 proved, and they can't stand it. That's why you're seeing the hysterical meltdown. And so while you see people like Don Lemon go, freedom, with their freedom, watch.
How is it freedom to force children who are too young to be vaccinated into schools where they could be exposed to a deadly virus surrounded by people not wearing masks?
Oh, what a good question, Don Lemon. It's a very good question. His whole thing was to build up to a point, right? The point was this. Ron DeSantis hates children because he isn't requiring masks in Florida. That's the point. The point is that Ron DeSantis hates the kids because he's not forcing kids to mask in Florida. You know, it's interesting because I happen to have a clip here on my computer that I will play for all of you of a monster, a true monster, a man who is not masked, wandering around Florida in public at a pool where presumably there's going to be tons of kids, right? Kids love pools. It's hot outside in Florida. It's hot right now. It's November. It's still warm outside. Kids love pools. This is where kids gather. This monster was caught on camera, maskless, outside at an area where children naturally gather in Florida. This is exactly what Don Lemon did a screed about.
I want to thank you.
He's like a big marketing guy.
I want to thank you. Yeah, Don Lemon, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's Halloween today, right? Don Lemon. That's okay. Well, I want to thank you. No, thank you so much. And you're in the great state of Florida. I hope you guys enjoy it. You can enjoy it. Thank you for exposing everything. Because we love you in Florida.
I think that was some harsh boomer sarcasm there. Don Lemon came down to Florida to vacation. Ironic, because he says Ron DeSantis, because apparently going to Florida is a death sentence. Don Lemon is sitting there in Florida, maskless, by a pool, just, I don't know, a number of days, months, weeks after going on his CNN show and saying, how dare Ron DeSantis not mask children in schools. It's a death sentence. It's a death sentence. Brr. These people. We covered yesterday that Nancy Pelosi plans on moving to Florida. Nancy Pelosi is planning on moving down to Florida. An enormous amount of the country wants to move to Florida. Florida has bonuses for cops who move here. Safe state, and has a lot of happy people, a lot of happy residents. And your boy Benny is one of them. Thank you for watching. We are 100% independent news. Are you sick of being lied to? We certainly are. That's why we started this channel. But we can't do it without you. We can't keep going without your help. All we ask is that you click like and subscribe and share this video. It's free and it keeps us going, it keeps us growing, and it keeps us getting the truth out there to break the rotted corporate media infrastructure that wants to lie to you every single day, wants to corrupt your narratives, your truth, your story, and your very society. So support us by clicking like, clicking subscribe, and thank you, Patriots.